at the start of the second Japanese turn, we have the summary of what happened in the American turn. Well, they didn't attack us, so we didn't suffer any loss or defeat or victory and casualties. They just play cards. And bad news, we find that our spies told us they have some light tanks, so we are going to have a rough time probably at some point. So we have a draw of cards again, and then we can see some information from those cards later on. So we can play, for example, the spies, and the spies is interesting because they can let you know. Let's see what they have here. Whoa, that many troops, so it's going to be a tough nut. All right, so we will see later on what can do, and then what's going on. We have reinforcement. Yes, putting the second part of the Japanese invasion force is coming here. That is, let's say, remains of the 1812 regiment. So we are probably going to need it here in the center of the front. So let's select this as an arrival. You can see only in yellow region can you put the reinforcements. So we have all these things, and an interesting thing that we have with the Japanese is the decoys. Decoys are fake units that you receive at the start, and you can move them. They cannot attack, but they can move in friendly regions, and because the American player does not see what kind of Japanese troops are there, they look like regular troops, so it's a good way to feint your opponent. And now we come to what we wanted to show you, which is the air movement phase. Now that the planes are back to the carriers and they are considering the third raid of the day, well, they will probably, because it's a what-if situation, use most of the Air Force to support, let's say, the land invasion. So air movement is basically done the same way, except of course the movement range is bigger than the land movement. So you can select your units, you can split units from the stack, and the split units you just select a target by just left clicking on the destination, and that's it, and the plane finds its way automatically. So I send the Kaga air component here to support let's say my battle here, and I will try another one. The Shokaku will send troops here, let's say air units, to go in battle here. And you can see, if you check, every highlighted region is reachable by the planes, and when it's turning orange, that means their reach will generate a battle. Okay, now I'll do some little interesting things to show you something new in this game. I will send, let's say, another raid with the Iryu and Soyu, which is a maximum 6 units I can send, because the air stacking is limited to 6 units in the regions. I will send them to attack Battleship Row to show you. I know they are here, and they fly over to Battleship Row, and then they are, as you can see here, suffering a little losses because there is anti-aircraft fire either from the naval installation, Navy Yard, or for the ships themselves. So there will be a air-naval battle in this situation here, and I will try to send the group to attack the Wheeler Army Airfield, because I want to make sure that no American planes are still there and I can make damage on them. So this is basically all my air units have moved, and then the next set that has not moved, well, there are none. So that's over for the air movement. I have 3 land support attack and 1 air naval attack. In the sequence of play, the air naval attack is solved after the air movement, and naval movement in the middle. There is no naval movement per se in this scenario. But this battle will be solved before we proceed to land movement and then solve all the battles together. So let's see the battle details here. We have first a summary of air battles, because there were some interceptions and there were some dogfight here. If you check here, there were some planes, and the P-40s here got one of them was eliminated, another one got damaged, and they shot a few hits against the Zeros. Well, obviously the Americans were totally taken by surprise, and they don't have much to do. So it's the attack on the American battleships here. You can see the Japanese will make an extra round finishing to get the American battleships here, and they will attack. So the anti-aircraft is scoring a hit, and the Americans suffered a few hits, but not much. So this is not really a success. Now you couldn't strike the same guys twice. So now it's a land movement again, and I will do more battles here. And something I want to show you is an interesting way to make, I would say, attacks. So here I will split my troops here, and I will send 3 companies all alongside the North Shores, crush, capture the radio station here, and I will try to. The Japanese have an advantage; they are very fast in battle. So I will use my decoys here to create confusion for the American, and let them think that something is going on here, and then I will support the attack here. These units will land, and that don't have much to do, but they can still be useful here to join. No, they can't join in battle because they have exhausted all their movement points, and maybe these 2 companies could. No, they don't have enough movement points here, so they can't do much. They will go here just to support, and this is what I wanted to show. It's what we call concentric attack. Concentric attack is something that you do when you want to attack from different directions. Here, for example, I will come around, and from here. One will come from here, one will, and the 3 remaining ones will come from here. So my goal is to try to get this unit attack from 1, 2, 3, 4 directions, which will give me a bonus in combat. So this battle here at Opaeula will be interesting to see. So let's have a look at this, and we select this one to start with. And here we have this battle. Sorry, I clicked the wrong place. If I click here, I see the battle. If I click here, I start the battle. The battle is starting, and you see there's a lot of troops involved here. And what is interesting, I have air units here, which will have their own phase during the battle to strike. Obviously, mostly the dive bomber is interesting, but the Zeros, they have a strafing capacity. The Kate, the torpedo bombers are equipped with bomb, but they are not so efficient in combat. And here I can see that the fact that I have the Air Force gives me a bonus in morale, so it's 4 to 1. No, the Air Force is not really efficient. So the battle is starting now, and then I have my units, and you can see here they have a concentric attack, and so this gives me the fact that I attack from different directions here. Concentric attack give me a combat bonus of 1 because the enemy is going to be a bloodbath, because the Americans here have the terrain, which was this wood location, in their favor, so it's going probably to be bloody. So let's see the battle, and you can see it's starting to fire on both sides, and the Americans are fighting quite well, inflicting some losses. At the moment, they still hold under morale, even if it's negative, because it's not automatic. There is a test, and if they pass the test, they can make some unexpected resistance. But basically, the Japanese have the upper hand here because of morale. Remember, the Americans are penalized in morale on turn 1, so they need to hold. But at the moment, well, they do a good job. Basically, they succeed in not breaking under morale for some time, so their point is to inflict as much damage as they can. So let's see what's going to happen in this battle. I think it's going to be over. And then we have it. And here the Japanese one, and they can break through. So they can break through, and if they break through here, the troops will join the other battles, which is an interesting way to make the battle bloody here. So if we go here, we have this little battle on the coastline. Would be a short one. We will see the Japanese try to breach through the defenses. The American will try to save their units, and so they will retreat. But the Japanese can break through again. We forgot these guys are quite active in fast battles, so if we retreat, we better have a good fighting situation, so we can retreat again. I mean, we are trading life for space here. And so we have this big battle where we had this breakthrough from the nearby battle. Here, air support is also present, not really efficient. Remember, the terrain is playing its role. And so here the American defense is stronger. They have some machine guns here. But the Japanese troops have a good fighting potential as well. So we'll see what's going on here. Not that much efficient. An interesting point here we have on the Zero aircraft. They can participate in every round of battle, whereas the bombers just go, drop their bombs, and go away. So that's why they participate only on the first round. And again, if I want more details, I can see here in the log who has fought, who has missed. I can check everything in details. I usually remove it because I'm just in the fun and in the mood, not really looking at what happened. So I'm trying to resist with the Americans here as much as I can, but I can see I'm going to take some quite severe losses with not much in response, so that is too much for the troops, and they break. And the Japanese may pursue, which is this free round of damage, which is a real punishment here. That's the consequence of panic. And then when I'm lost, I have to retreat, and then I see that the Japanese captured the two regions here, and so there will be this one really where I need to fight for if I want to prevent any serious progression of the Japanese toward the Pearl Harbor base. So 2 more battles to solve. This one here, that was my National Guard counterattack, trying to isolate troops. Well, the point is not any more interesting because the Japs have already broken through, and then they can go and pursue. So they will go here, and that's about it. So we have seen an operation here with the support, and the last phase in a turn is the air defense mode. The air defense is very simple. You select your planes and you send them in defense of your own troops. You cannot send them to strike enemy forces again, but you can send them and fly over your own units in order to go and defend your possessions. So if the enemy counterattacks you, then it won't be able to win an easy battle. In this scenario, the Japanese have probably an advantage because they have their huge number of planes which they can use to defend their troops, whereas the American planes, most of them have been destroyed in battle, and so you can't move many of them. Okay, so that's about it, and then when it's over, it's the American turn, and the game processes like this for 16 turns. Of course, there will be a lot of other things that happen in the game, and I cannot tell everything. Last sequence of a turn, as you can see, we are here just before turn end. We have the replacement phase. Is where your damaged troops receive reinforcements. Basically, the Japanese get none. American just a few, because it's only 4 days. But you have some cards that influence. Here, for example, those Stragglers cards allows Japanese to recover a few lost soldiers and put them back into one of the fighting units. So you select your unit which is damaged, and you can give her back good strength. So this one, the most interesting, is one of these two. They are badly damaged. We can check, but they are the two. So if I select this one, then she will get back to full strength by collecting the lost soldiers. And at the end of the turn, I have 1 point because I captured previously one of the forts. Nothing new, but well, it's still 1 point. So let's get 1 point. And then you can see I'm 14. I have the list here of my points and the active troops and units I have. And here, the American. Whoa, 123 units. Where are they? Well, I'll let you discover that when playing Americans again. And again, at the start of the next turn, I have the situation here and the casualties. I see that I have suffered a lot, which cards were played by the enemy, etc. And as you can see, there are still a lot of cards I can play, especially anti-aircraft unit, the hospital card, which cures some of my soldiers, etc., etc. So a lot of actions. Yeah, I wanted to illustrate the point. As you can see here, the Japanese units are here, and as an American, I have no idea which ones are where. And so, if you remember, I sent 2 decoys units here, and as an American, I can think they are actual Japanese fighting units, but they aren't. And it's hard to play, so it covers the uncertainty in a war. So I hope you like this short presentation. Forgive my bad French accent, and enjoy the game.